Hi, welcome to the Sean Land podcast. We're going to be having a conversation here today all about our life journey and experiences, and hopefully we'll give you some really good gems that you can take away with yourself. Today we have Carmen, who we're going to be conversating with today, and we see, what comes of the conversation. Welcome, Carmen.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Sean. It's a pleasure to be here. And part of 24, we just really are excited about your journey. And from the moment we met you, we were ultimately inspired. So yeah, it's a pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be part of this journey together, because so many good things are going to come out from this. I mean, it can only be good because we're only coming from the right. There's only good things being shared right now.
100%.
Good experiences. And I believe we have come from nothing. This isn't, I was already a millionaire or I just inherited a big lump sum of money. It's been the whole grind. That even today, even if I drop a penny on the floor, I pick it up because every penny matters.
100%.
Even when we're doing a business deal, I put my shoes into that person, not, I've got this much money in my bank account and I can just throw a number at it. It doesn't work like that. It's more like, what does this sector do? What's the prices in this bracket? Who am I dealing with? And, we negotiate because we're business people.
Yeah.
And that's how you stay on top as well.
100%. And that's also part of being humble, right? And I feel like for me, that's one of the most special things about you, because yes, you've got money, you're wealthy, but it's been a journey. It's all been about growth. So I think my first question, and I know a lot of people probably want to hear your answer to this, who is Sean Land? What is Sean Land?
Sean Land's just a normal, everyday guy who's just on a journey every day that when he wakes up in the morning, he can make two choices: be miserable or be happy and go and get it.
I'm sure everyone thinks the same thing, right?
Yeah, everyone can think the same thing, but how many times across life, because I've been maybe over 20 different jobs, I've been through many businesses and had to employ people on a day rate to do jobs. How many people do you see just absolutely look miserable? And I'm just saying, why do you choose to be that way? Because we do have a choice.
That's true, you're right.
We do have a choice. You can get up and say, I'm going to push these emotions aside and I'm just going to have a bloody good day.
But you also think about people who kind of dance in a space where it's easy for some to just say, actually, okay, I'm going to choose to have a good day today and just be really positive and have that mindfulness about their everyday. But how do you dig deep to find the difference between making a conscious choice, I'm going to be happy regardless of what's going on? Because in a lot of people's lives, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? That for some, it might not be so easy. So how would you advise someone to kind of dig deep and find that joy to keep going, even when you're not happy?
Think about the benefits of being negative. I don't see any. You're vibrating on a level and you're only going to keep attracting. I remember there's a few times I have been. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. I remember this one time that I was running late for my part-time job. I finished uni, was on my fast food restaurant job, and I was late. And the manager called me and he goes, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm late, I'm sorry." And I'm just in a bad mood because everything seemed to go wrong. and it was all because I wasn't prepared. So it's that saying, if you failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So I was late for the bus, late for uni, had to stay over to do my work, ended up being late for my part-time job and rushing around. It was a little bit of rain, overinflated tires. Next minute I come over the hill. As I'm coming down, all the cars have braked in front of me. I've slammed my brakes on and the car's just skidded. Oh my gosh. Second situation, I'm late. My manager's calling me. I've just crashed my car now.
So that domino effect.
And I'm coming out and the guy's going, "What have you done?" And I've had to deal with that. And I'm a 17-year-old. At this stage, dealing with that, I had to call my dad. I was like, "Dad, this happened." And I thought I was going to get the biggest bollocking ever. And Dad just goes, "It's all right. Are you okay?" And I couldn't believe that was my dad.
Life first.
Yes. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm all right." I was like, "Shall I play on this? Because I know he's going to beat me when I get home, And I was like, "No, I'm all right." He goes, "No, you sound shocked. Are you okay? Don't worry. Just get his insurance details and it will all be fine." And that really calmed me down because it's a version of my father I never saw as well. So I dealt with this guy and we exchanged numbers. Luckily, the car was drivable and I still drove into work. I did tell my manager what happened and they were like, oh, that's not good. But then I was like,
so
look.
you literally was having a bad day.
I was having a bad day. But I felt that I was vibrating on that level and everything just kept happening worse and worse and worse. And that's like a point that sticks out in my head. And my dad also tells me that that's a gift. He goes, it's good when if you do bad things come to you. It's a gift to you because it's the world telling you, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be that person.
Karma.
You know, what goes wrong comes around. You're attracting negative. So these few little things that have happened, I'm like, so how can I learn from this? Because I never failed. I just learned a lesson from it.
Right.
I only fail if I carry on doing the same mistakes again and again and make it a lifelong habit.
Yes.
So I've just had to pick myself up and just go, right, I'm not going to do that again. And even if I am running late, I'm just going to provision for that by calling the manager, I am late. The sat-nav, which there weren't no sat-navs in them days. But the Google Maps tells me that I'm being in 35 minutes. I'm really sorry. I'm going to get there at that time. And just face that problem there. But don't rush in between and keep trying to play catch up.
Okay.
Yes. But as I say, I don't see any benefits in vibrating with the negative energy. Because when you're positive, you can always find something positive because we're alive.
100%.
We are here.
Yes.
A lot of people don't get to see that. Let me tell you a quick story.
Gratitude is a must.
If I tell you, I'm going to give you £1 million, how do you feel? Be honest. How do you feel?
If you're going to give me £1 million?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, that's amazing.
Okay.
I can do some life-changing things, but the first thing, from young, I've always just wanted to help people.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll be happy and grateful and
So it's a good feeling, right? You can do
positivity.
Stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to give you another choice. Do you want 10 million or do you want to keep your life? So I'm either going to give you 10 million or you die tomorrow.
Oh, I'd rather live with what I've got. Life over money for me.
So there you go.
Because when you're living, you can earn, right? You have opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then, let me ask you a question. Why don't we wake up every morning thinking, I'm worth 10 million?
Yes.
Because I've chose 10 million. I've chosen my life over 10 million. So why don't we wake up every morning feeling like that person?
Yeah. Like value, right? Self-value. Value in your life.
Yes.
And that's exactly what, I have children and I really aspire for the next generation coming up. And this is why, as 24, we love your brand and what it is you're trying to do. Many people have businesses and products out there that are targeted at the older generation or, the communities that are already earning, anyone who's got a national insurance number. But you're really big on trying to reach the young people who haven't heard what they should have heard. Or what they should be learning, right? Like the stuff that you're trying to push out there, they're not learning that in school.
They're not learning it in school.
I didn't learn that at school.
Someone needs to come in and step up and show what time it is, you know?
100%.
And I feel that in my journey, it's never been easy and easy to grab information. But I've allowed myself to be around older people and just sit there and even be their little slave in a way to say, hey, what would you like? Should I make you a drink? Should I do just to be around them? Yeah. And that was something instilled from my dad to show me that respect is a big thing. But from learning that one aspect of respect is allowed me to sit in certain environments and observe and be like a sponge and take in all the information. And I feel like, hey, I would have wished if there was a mentor around when I was 15, 16 to say, do it this way, not that way, because that would be so much faster. Yeah. And yes, I had great mentors, but if I had that extra person who had the blueprint, I'd be stuck with him. Like, look, I'll probably get it faster, twice as fast.
You would have reached already. Yeah.
But I now have the opportunity to do that for somebody else.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it's that empathetic sort of feeling of thinking, that could have been me, but I'm now doing it for somebody else. So I know how good that other person's feeling.
And that's a beautiful thing, because a lot of people in the world right now, there's very little empathy. I feel like the world hasn't got much empathy these days. We consume so much. I don't know whether it's the technological age, the digital age, social media, the term influencer, but I don't know what that is, but there's very little empathy in the world, and our young people really need role models. You talk a lot about your father and your grandfather being very influential in your life.
Very
in
present.
terms of presence, and that's exactly what I'm coming to. there is so many young people from Black, Asian, minority, ethnic, white communities as well, that do not have those role male figures in their lives. So how would you feel mothers or families like that can navigate and push young people into kind of having this mindset without those role models? What are the alternatives?
Well, if they don't have family around? Without family around, I feel that you need to look at maybe even, first of all, you home is where the heart is. So anything you can exhaust, try to exhaust that first of all. Even look at an uncle, further extended family, a auntie. Maybe your mother or your father might not have had the best relationship, but that's an issue that they've two have had. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. 9 times out of 10, there's been family members who haven't got along, and then you end up talking to them separately, and they're actually not really bad people. It's just a disagreement.
Right, the situation they were in.
And you might find some sort of mentor in them. I mean, you might or you might not, but have that question, because they're better. But surely they're better than a total stranger.
100%.
At least they come from a similar background. They're cut from the same cloth, if that makes sense. It's the root is still the same, And as I say, there's nothing wrong with going to an old people's home and giving back as well.
Listen.
Yeah, and you just go to an old people's home and you say, look, is there anybody who doesn't have visitors? I don't mind visiting or playing some chess.
I love that.
Yeah, imagine someone's 90-year-old in front of you and you're a 20-year-old.
That's much life.
70 years that person has had more experience than you. You can be the dumbest person in the world, but you've got 70 years on top of you.
100.
It's hard to fail not giving any knowledge or advice. And that's not a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing. I don't know why we'd be embarrassed about that, because life is about giving, and the more you give, the more you get as 100%. Well. It's a relationship, it's the balance, it's the yin to the yang, Right. You have to vibrate on that frequency. Get out there. Knock at a shop, like a corner shop, and say, hi guys, I've been coming here for the last 5 years and buying sweeties. Can I please help on a Saturday for 2 hours just to stock up your shelves? Yeah. You're standing next to a businessman, someone who knows how to work at VAT, pricing up products, LIFO, FIFO, first in, first out, stock rotation. You're learning basics in life. Yeah, that guy's not going to totally not pay you. He might say, go on have a drink, or have a little chocolate on me. You have a nice little conversation. Rather than 1-2 hours wasted in your bed watching Netflix and feeling depressed and when's the next series coming out, or that was dead, and having mindless, pointless conversations. Get out there and make something. Exactly. Make it happen, because it's not going to happen in your bedroom. It's not.
That's very true.
It's not. You're not communicating.
Yeah.
I think one of my main gifts is working with people from a very young age. So people buy from people. People, you learn people's emotions, how they talk, how they react, how you
human to human contact,
how you mirror each other. Mirroring is a really great art, to mirror somebody and understand somebody. And you're from a different background. Now, the next person will 100% be totally different, but because no one's the same in this world. But to have the ability to mirror every person in front of you, whether 1 minute you're in a bank, 1 minute you're in a fast food restaurant, 1 minute you're in a shop, 1 minute you're cash and carry, 1 minute you're on a building site job where people don't understand politeness. You be too polite and they run all over you and they won't work for you. You've got to learn how to mirror and talk and communicate on that person's channel.
100%. And it's kind of like going back to basics. We forget when we become adults, we forget. That's almost childlike. Children learn by mirroring, and then we become adults and we forget. But that's how we learn in the first place. So I love that. That's 100% correct.
Very valid point. I didn't understand the point when people used to say, you got to find your inner child. You got to be the child in you, because that's the real you.
And don't let go.
But that is the real you.
Yeah.
What made you happy? Do you get up and play with Lego? Well, if you're playing with Lego and you're building, maybe you love stuff with your hands and you're constructing.
That's right.
Then why are you so miserable in that accountancy job? Because it's not touching you. You're not vibrating with that. It's not making you feel good. But maybe if you was a planning designer and working as an urban designer with the council and doing some architecture, you're drawing lines, you're like, I get paid for this?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to realise, hey, why don't I do a little short course? Why don't I apply for a little part-time job there? Let's see what I can get into. Be happy, and when you're happy, that's when you start excelling, because no one's going to stop you, because you're just happy. you're being positive, and things are just you're just manifesting in it.
That.
It's just coming, it's just flowing, you know?
What would you say then is living the life that you live now, where you are now, in your present moment, you seem very mindful and grateful for where you are. What would you say is your purpose in life? Like, do you feel like you've established that? Are you still discovering that? Or are you there yet? What would you say?
Life is not a destination. It's not
journey,
something
right?
where you've got to, it's a journey, 100%. I'm telling you, like, if I've been there, I've got a high five to that one, definitely.
100%.
It is definitely, you know, a journey. You don't know where it's going to go, because I had goals in my life. One of my first goals was to become a millionaire, and I gave myself, at 30, I'll become a millionaire. I achieved it at 26. Then I sort of hit a rock bottom. And I was like, right, since I can remember 12, 13, I wanted to get in properties, and I just want to become a millionaire because it was a massive number. 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
And I need to get there by 30. I might get there by 40, but I'm going to get there by 30. Man done it in 26.
Wow.
4 houses on the books, little bank balance, value 250, 350 for that yard. Yeah, we came out of recession, inflated prices, and I was like, I've done it. And then I was just like, okay, now what?
Yeah. Because you already set that goal, you already smashed that goal, and you're thinking, okay.
My purpose is done.
Yeah, no.
So you have other feelings like...
Yeah, there is more to life.
Yeah, and you had to almost re-find yourself and go, okay, so what's on the other side now?
What has God got planned for me next?
So I had to look at myself and say, well, I'm a little bit out of shape right now. I'm a 38 waist. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on health.
Okay.
Started on a health journey. Went to cardio training for 2 years. Got my weight down. Ended up being skinny fat. Skinny everywhere and a little podgy belly because the body becomes stressed.
Oh gosh, what many people struggle with.
Then I was like, let's go to strength training. Started powerlifting. 100 on the bench, 140 squats, 180 kg deadlifts. Looking in the mirror, I'm strong as hell, but I don't look strong. I realized strength training, you don't look aesthetically pleasing. You can be strong. It's like when you watch the strong man on TV, them boys are big.
Strongest man lifting cars and buses.
Yeah, but they're not chiseled. They're not made out of stone. And then I realized bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So you got to follow a diet plan, 5 meals, all nutrition. Where's my protein, my fats, my carbohydrates? That's just as important what's happening in the kitchen that's happening in the gym. And then 12 reps, how to get the hypertrophy in the muscle groups and how to put muscle under tension. It's not about how much weight you push, it's how much tension you put on their muscles.
Wow.
And it's like other things like that.
That's a whole lot of learning.
And then going, right, I'm going to compete now because I want to achieve something in this space. And I got on stage and competed. 500 people looking at you. It's an accomplishment to take your top off in front of 500 people looking at you and saying, yeah, I done it. I'm not a fat boy anymore. And it's like, all right, so what's next?
Yeah.
So then we go into a different project, another little restaurant. Well, I've done 14 years of fast food restaurant.
Wow.
Surely I can set up my own little kitchen. Set up a nice little kitchen, got it to £1,000 a day, you know, in a space
in terms of earning that income.
9 weeks. We got it into that stage. I sort of achieved that. Other things do occur, so it wasn't right for me, so I had to pull away from that. And so I thought, right, I've got properties, I do some investments,
assets, yeah,
and I'm doing crypto. Right, so the properties, I'm just ticking where my rents come out because I've organised them really well. Leased, fully maintained, you know, 4 years, that one's good, that's a small one, I've done it up nice, ain't gonna have many problems, I've got a good team, send out a boiler, whatever. So this ain't taking a lot of my time. I'm doing my ISA investments, which is all about planting seeds and watching things grow.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the newest space, which is crypto. So I've put a little portion in there. And obviously that's a sort of long-term horizon as well. We don't know when it's going to go, the charts are going to go parabolic. Yeah. And you never put anything short-term or get too emotional. And you put unemotional money in there. So I'm like, right, these are my apps, I can handle that.
Yeah. So falling back into that, at that point in your life when you realised, oh my God, there's people out there that don't know what I know, let me give back. Did that feel strange to you to actually realise that, oh wow, you know, there's so many people out there that don't have this information? What did that feel like, knowing that you were sitting with all this knowledge, and in that moment in time, what was the first step you made towards making change?
Well, I didn't know I had this sort of gift to say. The only thing that I knew around me was, for example, my brother-in-law come in the country 12 years ago and was working in a cash and carry for 3 years as well. And there was one Christmas that I went, I think you should leave the cash and carry and do this plumbing course, a gas safety course. And he goes, I don't think I can do that. Like, I'm happy in the cash and carry with my friends and stuff. And I said, I think you should do it. And he goes, well, what if I don't get paid for this? And I said, how about I give you £1,500 a month if you don't earn from this? But I know you will. Because I'll introduce you to I'll introduce you to an agent who's got 300 properties and he needs gas safety on all of them. And I know another 5 agents like that. So we'll get you connected. If they charge 40 quid for this gas certificate, you do it for 35. You got all of the whole contracts. Because you're hungry right now. You can do it. He went on to do that. He went on to do his electric after. He got a job even in ADF. He opened his private company where I was doing building works at the time. I said, any of my tools, you can use them. All the diggers, grinders, plastering, anything you need, just go in the shed and just take it. So he went on that journey. Today, he's got 4 houses. I made the first call for his house as well. And I got my mortgage advisor to get him, I said, Tony, look, this is what he has. Can we sort out the mortgage? Today he has 4 houses. He has a business that turns over 300,000.
Amazing.
And he has a full-time job as well. In EDF that he bangs it out from 9 o'clock in the morning. By 2 o'clock he'll bang that out. So
this was your brother-in-law?
This is my brother-in-law.
So he's like your protege of the first person that you actually took
a little bit
of information, passed it on and ignited him to do something.
Yeah, someone who I can really see the journey because he lived in our house for a little while as well. Same thing with the few people that I met in the restaurants. I always used to mentor the little younger kids. Where I was a little bit older, I was the manager there. On the weekend, I'd say it's my job to tell some little gems to these kids. Yeah. Some would listen, some wouldn't. And some of them are still my friends today that would say, no, I never forgot you because you always gave me some good advice. Then there was a tenant of mine, Peter from Czech Republic. He called me, he saw my advert on Spare Room. I was renting my rooms. We met up and he spoke to me and he signed up to the room straight away. And he goes, I have to say you're an amazing guy. I can feel your energy, etc. Yeah. Really nice guy. Then it came to a time where we bumped into each other in the gym. And he goes, I can't believe you're in this gym. Let's train together. I'm one of them people. I'm like, we got a business relationship. I don't want to mix friendship with business. So I was like, yeah, we'll train. Bumped into him 3 more times until he goes, can we train next week? And I went, yeah, we'll train next week. And he goes, Thursday, 3 o'clock. And I was like, yeah, I'm free on that. And I ended up training with him. Yeah. We ended up becoming really good friends. And I even just went, hey, look, you're from Prague. I'd love to go to Prague, Czech Republic one day. He goes, oh, really? Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I'd love to show you Slien and Brno and all these kind of places. Yeah. And next minute, a week later, he goes, hey, I'm going home next month. October's coming.
Do you want to come?
Do you want to come? And I was like, wow, that's happening a bit fast. So we went. And we took one train for 2 hours in between 2 different locations. It was so scenic, by the way. Lovely cobbled streets, a hypermarché, all of these trees, everything. And as we're on this train, he goes, right, I haven't got any savings. And I said, but Peter, you work in that restaurant. You earn this many, all these tips you earn. What are you doing with it? And he goes, I just can't save, man. Like, I don't know.
The saving struggle, which many people have. Yeah.
We sat down and we done a plan. And I said, look, put this in that bracket, put this in that bracket, put this in that bracket. If this doesn't work this month, or if you don't spend money on this month on that thing, you can roll that over and spend a bit more on that because we've budgeted for it already. And that's